Texas Podcast Massacre contains spoilers and adult language. For more horror, visit us at our website at texaspodcastmassacre.com.
Welcome to another episode of Texas Podcast Massacre, coming to you from Houston, Texas. I'm your host, Mitch, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Nate.
Goodbye forever, 2022.
Yeah, you know what? Forget you, 2022.
Get out
of here, goodbye.
I love the drop. Gotta just
that movie. To be honest, not the best movie ever.
No,
just that drop by itself is
incredible.
One of the best things ever. So I mean, that's really all you need.
Oh, the cheese goblin came from that. No. That was sorry.
That's Mandy. That's Mandy.
Right. That's
yeah.
Mandy. Well, welcome to another episode of Texas Podcast Massacre, where each week we take a look at a different horror movie and debate a horror-related topic with our unsuspecting victim, who's usually not someone you would consider a horror fan. This week, we are bidding adieu to 2022. That's right. This is our end-of-the-year episode. I know everyone has the holidays coming up. We have a plethora of Santa horror films, the new ones that have come out. I want to talk to you about that in a second, Nate. But, now's the time where we like to reflect on this past year, which I think was a pretty, as I'm looking through kind of my lists and notes, pretty solid year of horror.
Yeah, agreed. It was, I would say good. I would just say good.
Yeah. I mean, no major stinkers, I mean, there's some, but very few and far between. We got to go to a festival again this year in person. That was something. And then, I mean, this is, as far as horror goes, this is a better year than most. Nate?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I would say, it's better than the last few years, obviously. Yeah. So yeah, I would say sure. And then the thing about, maybe because Mithrigan is just kicking off the year, right? 2023.
Yeah.
But I feel like 2023 will be the year it's like, we'll see a bunch of people in movies again, like actual characters, a crowd or two here or there. I want this is what I'm hoping for 2023 movies. I want a good old fashioned Evil Dies Tonight level crowd in a movie again. Like once I see that, like we're back.
Okay. That's what you want.
Right. Like I want, you know what I mean? Like that level of people like on screen at one time together. That's what I'm looking forward to in horror movies for 2023.
I got you. Not in the actual theater. That's what I got confused. I thought you wanted like that many people in the theater with you. I was like,
no, in a scene together. In a movie.
Gotcha. That makes more sense. Yes, that would be good. I mean, I think what has really been nice for the genre over the last couple of years because of the pandemic is, I think out of necessity, studios have had to kind of turn to them, right? For just because of budgeting and all that. And so I think we've gotten a lot more, and I think studios have been a little bit more, I guess pro-risk, like they've taken on more risk with some of these projects. And I wonder if some of these, like, do you ever think we would have gotten Malignant in a more broader context than we got, and it make the kind of the waves it did in like a normal year, right? So I'm hoping they don't I'm hoping they don't move back away from that and overcorrect. We'll see, but
yeah, I agree. I don't know. We'll find out. The movie industry is weird. Terrifier 2 is crushing, as we talked about a few weeks ago. I mean,
oh yeah, we're going to talk about Terrifier 2 again.
In
don't
yep,
don't you worry about that. I'm interested to see. We do our reviews pretty close to when we do the episode. So we try. I mean, I'd say most of our reviews are pretty spot takes. Sometimes we've seen them before, right? For some of the older ones, and the requests, but I'm curious how much, when we talk about like your favorite movies of the year, how much some of them have shifted. Because I think we talked up some movies that we really loved. I'm curious if when as time has passed, are they still up there? Where do they kind of rank with others and that kind of stuff? I think that's always interesting to hear. I think before we get into it, I want to kind of do a quick news section. So Nate, let's talk about the news.
First eyewitness account came from people who were understandably frightened and almost incoherent.
So, I mean, I think the first thing I want to bring up kind of along those lines is AMC has unfortunately been doing some layoffs. And I think there have been a few folks at Shudder that unfortunately are no longer there. And so
is Shudder continuing?
So, I mean, I think Shudder so far is continuing. But I don't know. I mean, AMC's making so many cuts. I don't know. I mean, Shudder's clearly been making the money of all their streaming services, right? I really can't imagine they're going to have massive cuts. Maybe there are just some positions that they felt were redundant. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me at all, period. But I'm hoping those people are back up and going soon. But I also, hoping long term the service, this doesn't impact the type of projects that come out. If we just need to scale back some of the VHS movies and maybe not have like a 10th one, I'm okay with that. There's plenty of Puppet Master movies you could bankroll for, pennies on the dollar.
God.
So
I don't think anyone's ever said like Puppet Master is the way to save something. I don't feel like that is just.
I mean, they're still ticking. So I mean, it is a business model, Nate. But yeah, so keep an eye out on that. We're hoping everything is good there. Love our friends at Shudder, so definitely hoping for the best with that. I think other news I wanted to bring up. First off, I think to talk about, I guess, a little bit of the elephant in the room too. We haven't really actually addressed it, Nate, but it's been you and I running this thing together. We've been sorely missing,
running the jewels.
We've been sorely missing Lisa as our third voice of reason, as the voice of the the unsuspecting victims. She is actually taking a bit more of a hiatus, and she may be more of a random guest, but she's probably no longer going to be a co-host, and that's because we are having another child. Because you know what, you got to have the trilogy, Nate. As every good horror movie would tell you, you can't stop it. When you got two, when look, you come out with a banger original, then the sequel's really solid, and you're like, you know what, it's not a franchise till you have the trilogy. So that's what we're going for. I'm sure she's gonna love that analogy. I'll tell her about it later. But yeah, so Lisa is having to step down from being our co-host. We're gonna miss her. Hopefully we'll be able to get her back. I really want to get her in for me, M3gan, considering her complete hatred of dolls and doll horror. But
now, is this kid? So there's a lot of different ways number 3 can go.
Mm-hmm.
Matrix Revolutions.
No, that was definitely not one. No, that was
classic third movie in a franchise.
We gotta stop using the word classic.
Leprechaun 3 in Las Vegas.
Somehow that's better.
That's better.
Yeah, I don't think this one's quite. I don't think this is not quite the In Space Baby.
That's number 4.
Yeah,
number 4 is the In Space Baby.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, agreed. There's I mean, most of the threes are bad. Dream Warriors. That's really kind of what you're shooting for.
That's real. Yeah, I think so.
That's probably the best third movie.
Is it? You might be.
In a
You might
horror
be. You might be
franchise.
right. Yeah, I think that you're right. I think that is probably the gold standard of what we're shooting for here. With this third one, we will see.
Could be the Omen 3 with Sam Neill.
I mean, if
Is
you
that
ask
where we're
Lisa,
going?
I think she's going for the final chapter. So I think that's.
Well, I guess Dream Warriors or Season of the Witch. So maybe you don't like your kid at the beginning, then they grow on you as you go along. I don't know.
That's good. I mean,
Like Scream 3's bad.
that's the thing, though.
Think.
Do you want the third one to be similar to the first two, or do you want it to really just do you just want it to be totally different? It's a great question.
Exorcist 3's got the great jump scare.
All valid and important questions. We'll keep you up to date on what movie we end up getting involved in. But yeah,
my kid is the hey, which one was it? No, Anarchy, Purge election year of of my children, and people go, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Yeah, you should stop using that as an icebreaker at work, Nate.
I only have two. I'm Purge Anarchy. I'm good.
That's like that's your two truths and a lie.
Yeah. Look, my kid is the Purge Anarchy of kids. Okay. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh goodness, Nate. I don't know if there's any other major horror news to talk through.
I have the list of all of the horror movies coming out next year to discuss.
Well, let's save that for the end. Let's end looking forward. All right, so listen, give us a shout out. Let us know. Texas Podcast Massacre at gmail.com, TX Pod Massacre on Twitter, Texas Podcast Massacre everywhere else. You can always call us as you want. Leave those voicemails. We want to hear you at 346-246-3143. In fact, I think we got an email that I want to read if I can find it, because I am a professional and I come prepared.
Yeah, you seem extremely prepared. Maybe we should continue talking about how prepared you and I are across the entirety of the podcast.
Steve Stein sent us an email.
That can't be. What is this like?
R.L. Stein's son is a podcast.
I was gonna say Frankenstein, but
well, they could all be related.
I can't.
We
see
don't
how,
know.
I mean,
we don't know that R.L. Stein and Frankenstein aren't related. Very well could be. Okay. No. So. I love the subject line, and this is a great way to get our attention, and it obviously made it finding your email again even quicker when you put the subject line of "I was the idiot who requested Joyride." First off, you're not an idiot. Questionable taste in movies, sure, but
you're not the coward of the Gretel and Hansel person. That person never spoke up.
Yeah, I challenge them to.
At least you're taking responsibility. So we appreciate
Thank you. So they write, so I just saw Smile and finally listened to the episode. You guys kept saying wrong turn and said if I wrote in, I could possibly get a second request. That's fair. Well, I'm here for that opportunity if it still stands. I promise the movie won't be as bad as Joyride. I'm sorry for putting you through it. LOL. It was a movie I had found nostalgia for, and after rewatching, boy, was I wrong. That happens. Look, the nostalgia hits always. It's a coin flip.
This person requested the dentist, didn't they? I'm just taking a stab at it here.
Oh man, let's see. So for
I'm clearly not seeing this.
I almost don't want to read the rest of the email because I'm worried it's going to be the dentist now. So for another request, I have some A-list I'd like you guys to choose from. So if you don't like it, it's only half my fault this time. Okay, so he's gonna give us a list.
Okay, here we go.
We have Chopping Mall.
I love Chopping Mall. Okay.
There's Blood Rage.
Oh, yep. Okay, I know Blood Rage.
Or Wrong Turn 2, since you guys kept saying wrong turn.
It was just me.
Thanks. I'm surprised. Usually it's me that always is messing up the titles. Thanks for always putting out good content, even if the subject matter is horrible. You guys are awesome. Please keep it up. Thank you very much for that. Nate, I mean, I'm between Chopping Mall and Wrong Turn 2. So I will let you. I've eliminated Blood Rage. You make the pick.
Blood Rage. Well, but if we do Blood Rage, it gives me a chance to get that good Arrow Blu-ray to watch it. But
all right. Well, Blood Rage back on the table, Nate. You just pick.
No, wrong. Well, yeah, I can't. This is great because they didn't even attempt to say Wrong Turn 1. They went right to Wrong Turn 2, which means this person knows the podcast pretty well.
Yes.
So, man, Wrong Turn 2. I think we gotta go Chopping Mall, right?
I love it. It's locked in. Chopping Mall is coming your way.
Put it on the list.
You just made the list. As Chris Jericho, friend of the show, friend of me, because I talked to him once. While he was trying to leave.
Loved it. You loved it.
Yeah, not like a stalker. Yes, it was. It's on the list. Thank you so much for the email, for the kind words. I'm not thanking you.
You mean Terrifier 2 featured actor?
That's right.
Chris Jericho.
That's right. I spent a very long time in that film wondering when we were going to see Chris Jericho. And then I was not disappointed. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Thank you for that email. Yes, it's on the list. Nate, we've got some, and I mean, next year, we've got, beyond the movies that are coming out, I mean, we've got some fun theme months. And I want to talk about the ones we did past, but I'm looking forward to maybe we give an early preview of what we got in the cooker for next year.
I love theme months. We really petered out on the theme months after Doll of Fame. Did we? Doll of when you reach so hard for a theme month, maybe you got to take a small step back.
Doll of Fame. I got more ridiculous
ones.
By the way, Doll of Fame 2 needs to happen for sure. But oh my goodness. All right. Well, look, I want to get let's go ahead and start talking about 2022, and let's kick it off with what better drop than from potential top 10 entry, The Northman.
Hearken to me, you two-legged dogs. Drink the vision mead of knowledge. To learn what it is to live and die in honor. To be in battle slain and in death rewarded by the Valkyrie's embrace.
Well, Nate, I mean, this is an interesting year. You had to hold down the fort a couple of times on solo. Just because just life.
Yeah.
In fact, I mean, even last week we weren't able to. We were a week behind getting this episode out because I was in surgery last week. So it's been a challenge. So first off, thank you, Nate, for giving the folks what they want to hear, talking through some movies. Of the solo.
You want sexy Korean 80s doll movies? Done. I can talk about that by myself all the time.
I mean, you got that. You got bodies.
I like how you just said you got that. Let's just gloss over that entire section of what Nate said. Yeah.
It was
bodies. Yes.
Yeah. You were really trying hard to get me to watch that movie with you at our Airbnb in Austin for Fantastic Fest, and
we still never watched The Munsters.
No, we didn't.
I still have not
It's not on the list. We watched Heavy Metal 3 Turbulence or Turbulence Heavy.
I'd rather watch Heavy Metal 3 Turbulence than and probably some of the worst hacking of all time.
Worse than Hackers.
From Uncle Keith from One Tree Hill, prominently displayed, and Fiona from Burn Notice. So two classic 2000 shows there. Better than Munsters from the 15 minutes we watched and then turned it off. So there you go.
There's that. Well, so 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 on that note, Nate, I mean, we had a lot going on this year. Where do you want to start? I mean, we go through our awards here. Do you want to start with the top 10 of this year, or what would you like to kick off with?
Yeah, we can do top 10.
Our theater. Okay, let's talk about our top 10 movies of this year. So these are all
now, Mitch. Remember, these are movies that are available for other people to see in the year 2022.
Hey, you know what? However, everything is available for the right price.
Oh my God. If you put a movie that's not out yet.
What I really appreciate is, Nate puts the template out for me to do, and he has this like bolded and underlined, and I almost just to be a dick was like, I'm gonna pick nothing but movies that no one can find, but I didn't. I was good, so
good. That makes me feel better about it. I think we'll see.
I'll
be watching.
There's a chance that I inadvertently screwed it up, but we're gonna try this out. I think we're in good hands. If you'd like, I'll kick it off with my number 10. Number 10 was Bodies.
Oh, interesting.
You know what? When I watched it, I didn't know what to make of it. It's certainly one that grew on me a little bit as I thought about it. And I really did enjoy the ending, because it's just so dumb. Like, so much of what happens in horror movies is just dumb. I kind of like this idea of what ends up being the impetus for all this is just the dumbest thing imaginable.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my number 10. I actually thought Pete Davidson was clearly kind of the winner in this one. Everyone else kind of, was fine. Yeah, it was good as a bit of a satire. I think the theme for this month for me is satires. Definitely made more of an impression on me.
Interesting. Okay.
What about you? Okay, so what's your 10?
Number 10. Dude, if you want to see someone become unhinged in a atmospheric horror film, Rebecca Hall is about as good as it's ever gonna get. You might remember Rebecca Hall from, I don't know, what was Night House in my rankings before? Was it number 2, number 3 of the year?
It was.
I love the Night House. I love the Night House. And she was also good. She's been good in a variety of films, I guess. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's just skip over Godzilla vs. Kong. Just briefly skip over that one. But anytime she's done anything horror wise, The Awakening was real good. Another more atmospheric movie. She's solid. So this year she was in another movie, Resurrection, where everything's going great. She's she's like a scientist at like a biotech firm. She's an executive. Everything is going great. She sees a dude at a conference from her past, delivers one of the most shocking monologues in film history. I almost want to say in this movie to like an intern. And the intern's reaction is incredible. Highly recommend watching it. This Rebecca Hall doing a spiral is just about one of the best things that could possibly happen. So on that alone, and Tim Roth's extremely creepy performance. Number 10, Resurrection.
Well done. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Highly recommend it.
All right. Yeah, that one I did not see, so I'll be checking these out over the next few weeks to catch up.
It's not a movie that would jump out at you in particular.
Well, a great segue, because speaking of jump out, my number 9 was Smile, and any movie that makes Nate jump out of his seat in a crowded theater and oh shit gets in the top 10. That's automatic entry into the top 10. To be fair, this movie, I mean, look, we talked about it. There is not a person alive that thought this movie was going to be good.
No, nobody.
No one.
And to be fair, the reason why I got jump scared in the movie is because, to be fair, I underestimated Smile a little bit, right? I was talking with you a little bit. We're like, oh, look, whatever. Oh. I should have kept my head on a swivel for Smile, and it caught me, especially that ending.
Yeah, it definitely improved a lot of, I think, what Truth or Dare that had done a similar Smile thing.
Wishes it could have been this movie.
I mean,
not even.
Yeah, so much better. Much better execution, better story, overall creep. I mean, just really good. I was just really kind of surprised. I mean, yeah, I don't know what else more to say. I mean, I don't know there's anything overly groundbreaking, but just compare with other. I mean, I've said this so many times, right? I care more about execution and how just good what you do is. It doesn't have to be the most groundbreaking or like some crazy plot twist you never saw coming. Because if it comes across as shit, you don't care, right? It's like, okay, that's cool. But then the rest of it's garbage. This was just through and through a pretty well executed movie. That's why I have it in my top 10. So.
Okay. Nice.
What you got, Nate? What's your number 9?
Number 9 for me. This is a good year for Ty West. This is the first of potentially 2 entries for him. Spoiler alert, there will be 2. In my
I like
top
you
10.
went with potentially 2. No, for a fact. It's happening.
So number 9, the Mia Goth driven awesomeness of 1970s early auteur porn X is my number 9.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm assuming it is higher on your list.
I will go ahead and just tell you it's my number 7. So.
Well, no, don't say that. Just it's higher on your list. It's higher on your list.
It's
and
7.
When you talk about it, then
that's fine. It's not that much higher. Let's just talk about it. Because that way we can talk about it now instead of me rehashing my point later.
Sure, X is good.
Yeah.
Crocodile's great. There's this movie. X starts an entire universe of movies. There's already a prequel. I believe is next year when Maxine comes out. I think it's supposed to be next year.
Well, they're running out of time if it's this year.
Well, no, I mean I don't know if it's next year or the year after.
No, I think it is next year. I believe it is next year.
So I'm just looking forward to all of that because these first 2 movies have been real good. So Mia Goth is awesome.
Yeah, I mean
she is real good. This movie and in Pearl
this is another movie that does
give me all the movies with her. This
is another movie that does a lot with a little. Because this is basically. This is very, very Texas Chainsaw Massacre-esque, right? But I think she is so good in this role. I think people are lying if they tell you that they knew straight away that she was playing multiple roles in this movie, right? Like that it's her and the latex and all that kind of stuff. Once you realize it midway through, you're like, oh shit. I think this also gives us Jenna Ortega in another horror take where she's lighting the world on fire right now. She's great in her role in this. It's good. It's I had a little bit of
Wednesday, right? You've seen all of Wednesday?
Yes.
And you like Wednesday?
I did. We'll be talking about that in a different section of this.
I'm just saying, all right, you like it. I'm saying she's hitting multiple areas.
Mm-hmm. So I agree with you. I had it a little bit higher, but I agree. It was really good. The Gator is also a nice touch. It just reminded me of home, Nate. Oh goodness. Okay, yeah. Let me talk about number 8. My number 8 then. I've got The Sadness. So this is
it's not on my list.
Yeah. So this one,
it's in my honorable mention.
Not make the list. One of your infected zombie type of movies.
No, this is nothing like any other movie like that. This is like 5 levels above that.
Very gory, extremely violent and sadistic. This is a cruel for the sake of cruel, which I usually don't care for. But I will say, in terms of like Korean zombie horror type movies, they're just cranking these like master classes on these out, right? They're all good. I haven't seen a bad one yet. This one, it's a little tough to watch if you're squeamish.
A little tough to watch if you're squeamish.
That's fair. It's a lot tough to watch.
This is one of the most unsuspecting, victim unfriendly movies ever.
Yeah, definitely a lot of trigger warnings with this. I mean, this caused an uproar in fact at Fantastic Fest last year when it was screened and actually won like the best horror movie award for the festival, or best horror director, I guess. And in fact, I think one of the festival directors brought it up again, talking about how like people were really upset about it last time. So yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was. If I had to explain why I think it's where it is on my list, if you're talking about horror that is, show me stuff that is just going to disturb me and be bloody and violent and, just adrenaline, edge of your seat type of, horror, that feeling, then this movie has it in spades. Like, you're not going to have a good time watching this one. It's certainly more on the cathartic, just see everyone just get murdered and destroyed, but it's intense, but I gave props. It's very well done, very well shot. It's definitely not for everyone, but yeah, that's my number 8.
Yeah, we'll get more into that one in memorable moments from the year. Jesus Christ, the sadness, God. Damn it.
Fantastic.
It's memorable. It's a memorable film. I could think of 5 scenes just instantaneously when talking about that. So it definitely stays with you. Well, I got a movie that's almost exactly the opposite from that movie at my number 8. Number 8, Oregon filmed. So this is maybe is too high, but who cares? Significant Other.
Okay.
From this year. You got horror royalty at this point. Micah Monroe. She's been in tons of horror movies. She's basically, obviously It Follows, The Guest, another movie from this year that will be on my list also. Just giving it all away. Villains. It's just a lot of classic good horror. Not really. Well, some of them are classic. A lot of good recent horror films that she's in, and they continue to keep happening. But Significant Other is Micah Monroe and Jake Lacey, who you might remember as the guy who came in at the last 2 seasons of The Office, to be the new Jim, basically, are in camping out in Oregon, and he proposes to her. She has a lot of baggage from her parents having not a great relationship. Says no, and then what would normally just be a very sad relationship movie, camping, turns into a straight up horror movie for interesting reasons I don't want to give away. But Micah Monroe's great, Jake Lacey's great. There's not very many characters. Clearly a COVID movie, but cinematography is incredible. Apparently I'm just on the Oregon tourism board at this point.
I'm about to say,
but everything looks great. They're in the forest.
Do we need to start having a disclaimer on our episodes?
Very novel premise in this one. It's a little bit of, it starts out relationshipy, a little slow, obviously, talking about the forest, and it's not really foreboding in any way until a couple little small things happen, and all of a sudden it turns pretty quick.
Not foreboding until it is.
Yeah, exactly. And then it turns pretty quick, and then it gets very interesting and takes the story in some really cool ways. It's got a little bit of Annihilation to it, if that it piques your interest at all.
Okay.
Yeah, it's real good. So yeah, Significant Other. Probably not one a lot of people have seen, but I do recommend it. Yeah, number 8.
Excellent. Well, I already mentioned my number 7 was X. So Nate, go ahead with your number 7.
I'm assuming this is higher on your list also, but my number 7 is The Menu.
You'd be correct.
Yeah, I'll let you talk about The Menu when you get to yours, because I'm sure you have it way higher. What is your number 6, Mitch?
My number 6 is, surprisingly, Nope.
Oh, it's higher on my list. We're gonna catch up to all of these.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so
my number six
yeah,
is Barbarian.
Okay, let's talk about Barbarian. I have not seen it, so it's not on my list.
Oh, okay. Well,
I know.
Christ.
Look, it's. I feel it's been
Mitch. There's a horror movie in 2022 getting good reviews that has Billy Skarsgård, and you haven't seen it.
I know.
What are we even doing here?
Jesus, I know. Slacking is what we've been doing, Nate.
Clearly. Justin Long is now in all the horror movies too. I mean, this is his best horror movie role since.
Oh, did
Tusk.
he finally? I was about to say, did he get his teeth fixed? Has he?
I'm not gonna lie, he's extremely douchey in this movie. It works pretty. It works pretty well. He was also in another horror movie this year, House of Darkness, where he's also douchey. So you basically got just hit Justin Long being douchey in multiple movies this year. But yeah, no, but Barbarian is just it's good. It's Airbnb gone wrong. The movie is one thing, kind of turns into another thing,
Yeah, I've heard it's got some really good twists and turns. Yeah.
Really good a couple really good jump scares. And just an extremely novel premise. It's just it's yeah, and then the way they do the setup, and like I said, the movie turns, but it all ties together rather nicely from a couple different levels, and that's why it did really well in the box office and got good reviews. Just it's a very interesting horror movie take on. And this is another Detroit movie talking about Detroit. Is it better than other Detroit? What are the other Detroit horror movies? It Follows, Don't Breathe. I don't know.
RoboCop.
Yes, thank you. I don't know if I'm going to count that for sure. It's got little tinges of that, but it's real good. Highly recommend to see that one. That was kind of the surprise of the year for me. Watching that, I'm like, oh shit, okay, like this is real good. Yeah, Barbarian, number 6.
All right, well, let's talk about number 5, which is The Menu. Surprised the Menu didn't end up being further up my list, but when I kind of laid it all out, I just didn't feel as strongly about as the other ones. Maybe because it's not as much of a horror as some of the other ones on top of my list. But the satire is so good, and I did end up getting Lisa to go and watch this one when it came out in theaters, and she really enjoyed it too. I think it's really sharp. Pun intended. Nate, as I've been recovering from surgery, one of my favorite trash put stuff on just to kind of have something on
Hell's
is
Kitchen.
Hell's Kitchen. Yeah, absolutely.
Jesus Christ.
Because it's the same episode. I know it's everyone has a comfort show. Okay, this just happens to be mine.
Watch the OC like a normal person. Jeez.
No, and no, and I didn't know where to start with Days of Our Lives. I can't just jump right in, and I didn't want to know which arc to go back to. So anyway, no, but I mean it's such a good satire of all of that. I think the kills are pretty good. There's a scene in there when they really crank up the oh shit factor. That is good. Elisa jumped in her chair when it happened. She wasn't quite expecting them to do with one of the courses. It's just good. It's just an all around just really good movie. I don't know anything. Nate, anything you want to add here? Because you had it lower. So
yeah, I mean, I think it's a nice, clever movie with some really good commentary about class and foodie culture just generally, in that they're all douchey. So I like that. It's a little more nuanced than that. It's not,
Yeah.
it's not quite that level. And it gets into it with all the different characters kind of spelling out different facets of it. But the, it's just, this movie is just, you're watching it, you go, everyone is just really good at acting in this movie, right?
Yeah.
Ray Fiennes is real good. Nicholas Hoult is really good. Obviously, Anya Taylor-Joy comes in as an entirely different kind of archetype in the movie. I mean, John Leguizamo for some reason is here, but it totally works. John Leguizamo is just back.
Well, it's interesting.
He's like a legit. I always liked him. He's great.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
he was Luigi in the Mario Brothers. Okay, now he's in the menu. It's like, what have like? This is great. He was in The Pest, and in Mario and Spawn, or in Mario and Spawn.
He was also,
and now he's in like actual movies. So
he's also in Violent Night, which I was more surprised to see him in that than I was in this movie.
That's what I'm saying. He's all over the place, and it's doing great. But yeah, he works in the movie. It's a good movie.
So I'm curious, what do you think? Kind of, is there anything that really kept it lower on your list? Just since we were a little different, I'm just curious.
Yeah, it didn't. The way Ray Fiennes' character is so just really goes through the story with each of the dishes. Like, what was it? The mashed potatoes without potatoes, or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
Or bread that wasn't bread.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, no bread, but it was just all the accompaniments. Yeah,
exactly. Like that, and he's telling the story. Like, I'm telling it because of this, but like, it's just so unrelatable that it's just like, all right, this dude is just gonna like mess with you. But I didn't really like feel like any empathy for this guy whatsoever.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I guess because I got what he was doing, that's fine. That was fine for me. I mean,
I definitely got what he was doing.
I know. Sorry, I didn't mean to imply you weren't. I just mean that, like, I wasn't. Yeah, okay, no, that makes sense. I was just curious. Okay, cool.
But still, I mean, it's still satisfying to see. But like, just the motivations of that guy. It's like, yeah, I mean, I get it. It's just like, you got these people here. You got it locked up. Let's see where it goes. But it didn't give me anything like extra than that. The story is really self-contained with no kind of like, obviously a lot of commentary happening, but like it's really contained, and just I like the stories where like it could go out, like into the world. Matrix Reloaded style.
Oh my god,
like you could continue it out.
My goal in this show is just to keep steers away from Matrix commentary. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is the second Micah Monroe movie on the list, Watcher.
Okay.
I know you have not seen this.
I have not.
Micah Monroe.
What was that sigh? You sound like you're so disappointed.
So good. It's so good. Micah Monroe is I believe, are they married or not? I'm not sure, but either her fiance or husband gets a job in Bucharest. So they're in Romania. And she moves, and it's a little disorienting for her coming from the US, going back with, I think it's her boyfriend or fiance. I don't really remember. It doesn't, to be honest, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter.
Whoever this is. And so she's in Bucharest, and she's just a little disoriented, right? Like, she's just like, what is this place? And that partner, he's got this new job with I think it's like an advertising or something, and there's clients all over the place. So he's always out late, and she's a little isolated. And then in the background of this, there is, news stories about women being killed in their apartments. And that freaks her out. And then she thinks she sees a person in the building across from her, like looking at her, and then it like escalates and gets the police involved, and her boyfriend / fiance / husband, whoever that is, like doesn't really believe her, and neither do the cops. Is she crazy? Is someone actually doing something? Is she following the right person? A lot of that is going on. It's more of a like psychological horror / thriller atmospheric type movie where you're kind of like a fish out of water. And then there is danger around, but you know, are you seeing danger because your situation isn't great or because it's really there? And Micah Monroe, like I said, is just a really good actress in general. And in horror movies, she's really good. So she plays that off well. And there's a very interesting ending. So, yeah.
Well, I've been adjusting my list here because I might make further adjustments to my top 4. But let me give you my number 4, Nate. The Black Phone.
Yeah, not on my top 10.
Really? So good. So good. How is it not on your top 10? I mean, this is Ethan Hawke coming back.
Mitch, I don't like movies where kids get hurt as much as you. I don't know.
Oh my God. Okay. I can't. I guess we're canceling the My Girl Award.
No, it's still there.
Yes.
It's still
of course it is. No, this is really good. It's a very dark film. Just really well acted. I think, we've talked about just the mass is just so good. Notwithstanding all the wrestling stuff behind it, right? There's just this. I mean, this movie is so good. Like Ethan Hawke is so good at being creepy. I think it's a really clever use of having these like this ghost story kind of wrapped in there. It's just really well done. Another one of these. I feel like a theme for this year is a lot of these movies. I feel like I didn't expect a lot out of some of these. Is that fair? And so many of them just over exceeded expectations. And
horror movies are getting a little bit more, complexity.
Yeah.
And like nuance and like stories.
Yeah, and this one's good.
And I like it. Yeah, it's great.
This one had a little bit of like a Home Alone type of vibe on some parts of it.
Home Alone Ghost Phone.
There you go. Genuinely just a creepier movie. Had a really good story, enough suspense. I mean, trying to understand considering there's a low body count in this in terms of on-screen like murders and stuff like that. I mean, the danger always felt really real because of all the ghost kids, right? Just really well done. Really enjoyed it, and one that I kind of look at these too for some of these of like how often am I recommending these films, and Black Phone I've been recommending quite a bit more so than like The Sadness, right?
Yeah, a little more digestible.
Now I have to think through my 1, 2, 3 because I'm really torn about these. So Nate, while I'm doing that, what is your number 4?
My number 4 is Pearl.
I should have guessed it. I felt like it was. I felt like that was where you're gonna put it. Okay.
The second Ty West Mia Goth movie, the prequel to X that was filmed right after they did X, and it's gonna be a trilogy, and it's great, and can't believe this all worked out during COVID so well for this movies. But yeah, no, Pearl is incredibly good. Mia Goth playing Pearl, who's one of the antagonists in the movie X, as a younger woman, and it is as ridiculous as you would expect. You got old timey movie theaters in this one. You got rural farms. You got harsh German immigrant parents. you got like a song and dance chorus line girl. Brutal audition. And this movie is not one for sparing the awkwardness, as you probably saw from, if you've looked at this movie at all, the end credits scene, where Mia Goth is just awkwardly smiling,
like painfully
through the entirety of the credits. It is. There's other scenes that are kind of like that in this, but it just works so well. She's so great. There's kills. There's some pretty brutal stuff going on in parts of this movie. The crocodile is there. The crocodile continues. The crocoverse. This is the Lake. This is Lake Placid. This is Betty White in Lake Placid, basically, at this point. And there was a bunch of sequels to that too. Hey, there you go. But yeah, it's very well done. Highly recommended. Do not expect really a lot out of X to start with, and then Pearl. Like, well, they just filmed this at the same time, and it's like taking place in the past, and it's going to be COVID. Like, there's not going to be that many people. Just like a night. Like, what is it going to be? Yeah, still knocked it out of the park. Fantastic. Highly recommend Pearl also.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'll tell you, because I just haven't had a chance to watch it. I know I'm doing my list of the service because I'm sure it would be up. It would have knocked bodies off the list, and it would be up here somewhere, probably in the higher upper half. All the reviews I've heard have been good, really good. It sounds like it's like Ty West redoing The Wizard of Oz. Is what I've heard it. Which is a very intriguing concept. So that's good. All right, I gotta put my flag down on one of these. Oh God, Nate, I don't know. All right, I'm gonna do it. Number 3 is Prey. I almost wanted to put that higher. Prey, number 3. Prey was
higher on my list.
God, I don't blame you. It's so goddamn good. I truly these next 3 are very much a struggle. And I could have easily put Prey at number 1. That's how razor thin the margins are for me on the next 3. Prey is just really good. Again, exceeded all expectations for it. The lead actress is incredible. The story is just, look, it's not like there hasn't been a Predator sequel already, right? There's been numerous, and they've all sort of failed. This one really caught the spirit of what made the first one and what makes the Predator creature so great. The new design of the Predator is good. The fight scenes and the hunting, all that is just phenomenal. Really, really good story. And again, the fact that you can watch it, in like the, I'm blanking on the tribe language, but just not in English, right? It's Comanche. Thank you. Sorry. Awesome. Really good. I'm putting it at 3 now, and in a week I could change this to 1. That's how close all these are to me.
Yeah. My number 3, and to be honest, my top 3 are pretty mainstream, which is a little out of character for me, but number 3 for me is The Northman.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Northman's not even on my list.
Oh, goodness. That's awesome.
Okay,
so
let's talk about that.
Great.
Yeah,
I just ordered it on Blu-ray for Black Friday. So
it's not a bad movie. I enjoyed it. I know, and look, it's Robert Eggers, so it automatically got points for you. I'm just really number 3. Okay, so what about The Northman? Talk me through The Northman being number 3.
Oh, The Northman is incredible. It's got the cinematography is ridiculously good.
Right.
Alexander Skarsgård is just figuratively and literally a beast in this movie. It's definitely got enough horror elements that I didn't feel too bad putting on the list. You have a horror. You have a like a if the night fight in Indiana Jones was like actually creepy. You got that. You got Anya Taylor-Joy putting her period blood on some dude's face who's trying to have sex with her.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you need? That's it. 10 out of 10. You obviously got the insane vision scene with Willem Dafoe, Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke putting more kids in danger. Jesus, Ethan, calm down. Calm down this year. Take it a little easier. You're murdering kids in a murder.
He's upset. Maya's getting more popularity now, so now he's like, fuck them kids.
Yeah, exactly. And then now he's just giving his own kids a bunch of drugs and being a pretty douchey dude. So there's that. But no, it's it's a solid movie. I mean, it's got the acting is just ridiculously good. Alex Skarsgård, like I said, is just a beast. Nicole Kidman is great. Ethan Hawke is really solid. Anya Taylor-Joy is just fantastic, and basically everything at this point. I don't even really know, what to do there. I mean, she's in 2 movies on this list. Willem Dafoe is extremely Creep City, and Robert Eggers' Willem Dafoe is just like peanut butter jelly at this point. Like,
Right.
imagine if Tim Burton and Johnny Depp, but like not the lead, right? Like always the secondary character, right?
Yeah.
Like Willem Dafoe. I would be fine with that for every single movie. And Robert Eggers is doing Nosferatu now. So
Is he? I thought it was canceled. It's back on now.
nope, back on, baby. No Anya Taylor-Joy in this one. It is actually good segue. Johnny Depp's daughter is going to be
Okay.
in the film.
Lily Rose or something like that.
Yes, and potentially a Skarsgård in there as well.
There you go.
Got Skarsgård, but no, it's great. There's some solid action scenes. A Valkyrie lady with braces, intense braces, flying.
I
with
think
a winged horse.
Yeah.
A lot of kills, including some kids in this one. It's real good.
I liked it. I like that. I mean, visually, it was really something. I think I don't know. I mean, it's obviously Hamlet, right? We've talked about that. I think that's
Hamlet
probably
stole from this.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying it's. I guess I was wanting a different story.
I love Hamlet. Hamlet's my favorite Shakespeare.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I think I just can't. Again, this is maybe just expectations not being what I was expecting something different, I guess. So it's again, it's all good, but I think that probably explains more why it didn't make my list versus why it made yours. And besides you fanboying for.
I'm really looking forward to this director commentary. I've been waiting for a while. So
my number 2 is Scream.
Not on my list, obviously.
I thought this latest version of Scream was real good, real smart. I think again really tied back to the spirit of the original. Did a really good job of bringing back in really kind of spotlighting the whole requel thing. I thought that was just it was back to being what we really liked about the first Scream, how smart it was. The commentary about the genre, had some really good kills, had a really good ending again. Jenna Ortega again, very strong performance. And I think did a very good job of recreating the same sort of dread and tension as like the original Drew Barrymore scene that she's trying to, they're basically trying to call back to, right? But still kind of making her own. She's definitely like, she's got like that Scream face down. You know what I mean? Like if you need someone that's just going to look like they're just in pure abject terror, Jenna Ortega's got it, right? I really enjoyed Scream. I remember Lisa really enjoying it as well. I think, I mean, clearly enough people did because they're making another one. Did they need to? Probably not, but here we are.
Yeah. I rated Scream the lowest out of us 3 when we saw it earlier this year.
Yeah.
Just they're making an expanded universe for Scream. They're making an expanded universe for Halloween.
I mean, they tried that with Halloween 3,
but
sure.
Do we really need that? No, they're bringing everyone back. Like, remember the brother's cousin of the person who got murdered in Scream 2 on the college campus? Like, what has happened? Why does this matter? I don't understand.
No, but I think they did I mean, why Scream has always been good was because it was able to really very smartly very smartly, I think, make commentary about all these different. I mean, what's the famous thing about first Scream is all the horror movie tropes and all, all the same shit, which they all still fall for, right? Even though they all know like all the rules, right? But that's what's so great about it. Is everyone in this whole like meta experience of it. This one does it just as good, but really poking fun about all the things that all these new wave of horror movies have been doing unsuccessfully and then being successful at it, right? I think that's what really sealed it for me.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you about the first one.
What's your number 2?
Nope.
Really?
Number 2
Okay.
is
Okay.
Nope for
So
me.
So then, spoiler alert: Praise your number 1.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, well, you were going to hate my number 1 pick.
I went real mainstream on this, but yeah, Nope. I really like Nope, so I like the mainstream horror movies this year a little bit more. The story's great. I mean, I'm trying not to spoil too much here, but you got some extremely good acting in Nope. Like Jordan Peele is getting some work out of like everyone he's all the actors he's working with, like he is getting a lot from them. Obviously Daniel Kaluuya, I mean, just literally had won an Oscar, right? For best, I think it was best supporting actor just before, right? Like the year before this movie, but he's ridiculous. It does all the tie-ins and has all the commentary about Hollywood, how the industry has changed, specifically how, childhood fame impacts people. It causes problems in hilarious ways, in hilariously digestive blood shower ways. And how, like OJ, his name's OJ, how he's riding a Bronco. So that's good. How OJ is work as a, horse wrangler person, as the horseman. There's the Northman and the horseman. There you go. As the horseman works in this like plot and is like a really good asset. Is just hilarious. Steven Yeun is just awesome. Everyone just knocks out of the park. You got Keith David, not for too long in the movie, unfortunately, but Keith David is great. Basically everyone is like a distinct character who brings their own facets to make this movie work. And I really like that part of it. Plus, I mean, again, I don't want to totally ruin it if people haven't seen it, but like the premise is just incredible. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think I had it lower because, and Nate, this is probably more just to yours and my different just general taste in horror movie. I mean, if you're a prestige horror fan, yeah, I would expect that this movie's higher.
This is a mainstream movie. It's not like an art house movie.
It's not art house, but it's still, I mean, you're talking about like all these different messages and meaning behind and all that kind of, and I, I think of that when I think of like prestige horror, where it's like horror about something versus just, scare for the sake of scare. Right.
Sure.
That said, I understand some of the, and we heard quite a bit of criticism from our unsuspecting victim on that episode.
They did not care for it.
Anthony
did not care for that.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. I do think I can get people not being patient or willing enough to kind of go for the ride to really connect all the dots of what he's trying to do. And this one, unlike Get Out, this one's not laid out as neatly. But I will say this. I mean, this has maybe for me, the scariest movie scene of any film in the whole year, when everyone gets when those people get sucked up into the
thing.
Oh my God. Nightmares. That's nightmare fuel for me. So there's that. If we were doing scene alone, that's top 1.
Oh wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Now let's go number 1. And So Nate, okay, so Prey is your number one. Anything else you want to say about Prey?
Just go watch Prey. Watch the Comanche dub too.
Oh yeah,
highly recommend that instead, because it's awesome and everyone in the movie knew Comanche, but they didn't film the movie twice because that would cost a lot of money. So they just dubbed it over. Highly recommend watching it that way, which makes it feel like a little bit more like you're maybe there in the time period. It's just real good. It's got action. It's got all these ones. My top three are all kind of have a lot of action portions in them. It's just really good. It's like a good crowd pleasing movie with a different enough predator. We weren't 100% sure like how things were going to go down, right? It's because it's like in the past, so it's like a proto predator. There's like at least like 6 iconic scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's just ridiculous. There's the bear scene. There's the I don't know. there's a scene on the tree with this hilarious timing. There's the setup scene. There's the French, like it's so good. It's just so good. Yeah. Running through the field of the grass. I mean, there's just like so many things that reminds you of the first Predator, which is why it's real good because the first Predator is real good. So this is just in a different time period. The Predator isn't about like getting your own technology and whatever, blah, blah. The Predator is literally about fighting the Predator with your wits, with less technology and using your strengths to your advantage in your surroundings. Like that's what the first Predator was good at. And what the other ones, like DNA Glover going into alien spaceships, is not good.
Yeah.
So it did that really well. How this movie didn't come out in theaters is just ridiculous. I can't even imagine what that decision was like. But it really should have been movie theaters because I think it would have crushed this year. But we'll take it on Hulu and like Disney Plus or whatever, wherever it's at. So
yeah, I agree. I would have, and I guess I struggled with where I put this. I almost wish I'd put this as my number one. I feel like you would have been a lot more proud of me than what you're going to be proud of with my number one, which is
I already know what it is.
Terrifier 2.
One last thing, Amber Midthunder is awesome, and you should watch her in Legion. She was very good.
Yeah.
In that movie. All right, go ahead. Terrifier. I knew it was Terrifier too.
Of course you did.
At first I thought you might put Doctor Strange or some garbage at number 1.
No, God, no.
Mitch, I don't know with you. I don't know. So I'm actually glad it's Terrifier too.
Oh, that's good. I want you to be proud of me, Nate. Terrifier 2. Look, this is everything I love about horror movies. And I think, I really hated the first one, right? And because there wasn't a good enough story.
You did not like it at all.
This one does everything that I kind of talk about. Like they lean into just this crazy, like, our strength is this really awesome character. So let's just lean into that. The first one was just like, we have this creepy character. Let's just have a bunch of really brutal kills. And that the problem with when you go that route is there's only so much you can do with that before it's just like, all right, cool. This is just gore fest. Like, okay. All right. There's nothing to it. This really did a great job of establishing a story, having these like characters. And I mean, I think they've established such a great final girl. There's scenes that are pretty funny. So you have humor kind of breaking it up.
There's one scene that is incredibly funny.
Oh yeah, the Halloween store.
Trying on the glasses.
Incredible. I mean, there's some other things that are pretty funny. Now
he rolls up to her with the horn, and she goes, "Please don't." He goes, just.
It's so that whole scene is so good.
That guy, Damian Leone, he's got he just signed a deal. Terrifier 3 is 100% happening. So you are just in luck, Mitch. There's more Art the Clown coming.
Yeah.
Pretty quick.
Well, and I think that the telling part about this, and why I feel good about it being the top film of the year is the numbers don't lie, man. And people went out in droves to see this movie in theater. And I agree with you. I think had Prey been in theaters too, I think a similar reaction. But between the word of mouth that it was getting of people like having like the pass out fainting, spells or whatever with this movie, because it's pretty. I mean, it's brutal. It's up there with the sadness in terms of some of the. I think it's over the top brutality. Maybe saves it a little bit, but there's some scenes that are rough to watch. But I think. I mean, again, the character is so good. The story is really good, and I think the lead actress they found to be the final girl. I mean, it's like one of her first acting roles or something, like major films and all that. I mean, she crushes it. And those are all like the keys for a super successful horror film. I really enjoyed this movie, and I was thrilled to see the success it was getting. So yeah. Number one, baby. I don't fault Prey though for me. that's yeah. Good overall, good movie. Good.
These are two different movies. Again, not in my top 10, but it was in. I had a couple honorable mentions. Terrifier 2 there, Black Phone was there, Sadness was there. I gotta give and Smile, obviously, but I gotta give a shout out to Fresh. I really wanted to put Fresh in my top 10. I just couldn't quite get it there, but I like Fresh.
Yeah,
it's on Hulu. Just watch Prey, watch Fresh back to back. You're basically set at that point.
Yeah,
a little bit different movies.
Agree. There was
both have dancing in them.
Let's run through real quick. I mean, Nate, your top horror TV shows. Did you watch a lot of horror TV shows?
Absolutely not. Do you want to go through your list once more, just so that people have the list? Just go down from 10 for your list real quick.
Sure. I mean, Bodies, Smile, The Sadness, X, Nope, The Menu, Black Phone, Prey, Scream, and Terrifier 2.
Yeah, and mine was number 10, Resurrection, number 9, X, 8, Significant Other, 7, The Menu, 6, Barbarian, 5, The Watcher, 4, Pearl, 3, The Northman, 2, Nope, and 1, Prey. Oh, so good. There's a lot of good movies, Mitch.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
TV shows. Give me your 5 from bottom to top. What do you got?
I don't have 5.
You don't have 5.
I literally have 0 this year.
Then let me give you my list.
I know exactly. Oh, and one more honorable mention: Deadstream. Mitch, you need to watch Deadstream.
God, I know it's on there.
It's on.
I started it, and then
really
I fell asleep with my medicine.
It is hilarious.
All right.
I almost put it number 10, but I couldn't. Rebecca Hall just has like another level above. But I wanted to put number 10.
All right. Well, here's my top 5 horror TV shows this year. Number 5, Los Spookies. It is definitely a comedy. It's on HBO, but it is fantastic. It's about a group of friends that they are professional haunters. So they get paid to like stage exorcisms and like supernatural stuff. It's pretty funny. I don't have a whole lot. It's a weird ass show, but it's pretty good. Number 4, Wednesday. So they'll start off kind of more on the unsuspecting victim friendly side. Wednesday's great.
Okay.
I'm
gonna watch that in the future.
I think Jenna Ortega does a really good job of making the character her own. Christina Ricci's also in there. It's got a pretty solid cast. There are some parts that are a little Veronica Mars-esque.
Okay, I'm back. I'm in.
But it's got a good mystery. Is the reveal? You're more than likely gonna figure out stuff. It's not like, this isn't like Black Mirror level twist here, but it's still, I think, rewarding and very good. And I think certainly well acted. It just be ready for a different take on Wednesday and the Addams Family, but not It definitely feels, I think because of it being done with Tim Burton, it definitely still has kind of I don't want to say nostalgic, but a very a familiar feeling with the whole series. It's really well done. I would just check it out. Now my number 3, Nate, which is going on the vein of teenager shows, Pretty Little Liars: Original Sin.
What? I need to tell my sister about this because she'll be interested.
Okay, so Pretty Little Liars was a TV show on I think Freeform.
I thought it was CW. It was a CW show.
I don't think it was CW. It was Freeform. It was like ABC Family or something.
Are you sure?
Nate, this is my dark secret that I used to watch Pretty Little Liars a lot. So yes, I'm pretty sure about this.
Okay. Damn.
Now Pretty Little Liars itself was a terrible show, but what I loved, like, it was real trashy, like real just stupid. But what I loved about it was that characters did get murdered. They were getting cyber stalked by someone that they thought was dead. So very I Know What You Did Last Summer vibe. The show itself is terrible. Like, all the characters are terrible. All the stuff that, I mean, it's very soap opera-esque. And it was one of these things where, like, you'd watch the first little bit and someone, like, something real, scary would happen. And then, like, fluff for 40 minutes. And you're like, I'm done with this show. And then the last thing, something would happen. You'd be like, oh, I'm all back in. Someone got murdered, right? Like, it was that kind of show. Very good.
Interesting.
Very, very, like, trash entertainment, like, kind of stuff. This Original Sin now is on HBO Max, and was able to go a good bit more full horror with it. So it's a lot bloodier, a lot more, I think, shocking in terms of the kills and the diving. A little more brutal kills in this, and the threat seems like bigger. It was surprisingly good. I don't know what expectations I had for it, but it was really good. I actually really enjoyed it. So it's just one season out too, so it's easy to catch up. So. Oh,
you like it because your favorite movie of all time, the lead, Lucy Hale from Truth or Dare, is in this. That's why you like it.
That was in the Pretty Liars, not Original Sin.
Okay. But that's what kept you in it enough to that no Original Sin existed.
Actually, no. Lucy Hale is my least favorite of the girls in Pretty Little Liars.
Okay, well, I tried.
So, yeah. Stuck on that. Number 2, which I'm hoping actually came out early last year. So I'm going to just go with it. Was Yellow Jackets.
Uh-oh.
It did. It did. It came out in January of 2022. Woo!
Oh, you got lucky. You got lucky.
Or it ended. It was like at the tail end. I'm going to count it. it was a December, January. We're gonna count it because I wouldn't have been able to talk about it at last year's year end. So we're gonna talk about it now. Yellow Jackets.
That is fair. The last episode was January 16th.
So Yellow Jackets is it's about Christina Ricci sent this. It is about a group of a group of girls are on the varsity soccer team that are going like nationals, and they're playing crashes in like the wilderness, but it's flashbacks and flash forwards. So they survive, but there's clearly shit has gone down. They all have secrets, and so it's a lot of like uncovering what that is. Not all the girls made it back. They don't talk about who did, so you really don't know which of these girls, like what has happened, but like there's like very Lord of the Flies-esque imagery through a lot of it. Real good. Season 2 is coming out in a few months, so Nate, you need to catch up because we got to talk about this.
Okay.
Very good. My number 1 show this year though was Nate, we had, I think, a surprise hit theme month, Guillermo del Toro, and to honor that, he has the number 1 spot with his Cabinet of Curiosities. It was an anthology on Netflix. So each individual short stories, all fantastic. Just banger after banger after banger.
That one I will be watching.
So good. There's one about rats. I think it's like episode 2. I think it's called Graveyard Rats. You need to check the extras because you can watch that in black and white, like it was intended. Watch it in black and white.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, they have one in color.
You're really making me interested by saying black and white. So,
oh yeah. Okay. So that one is there's one of them that's very Lovecraftian, and what I love about this too, it's very like he actually does introductions for each episode to start. He actually talks about kind of the theme of the episode, introduces the director, and all that.
Ooh,
very, very good. And I mean, you know, he's involved from a production perspective. All the creatures just look great. There's not a bad one. Every episode is just great. Yeah.
Okay.
Easily.
I'll be watching that one. I'll be watching that one.
So yeah. So Los Spookies, Wednesday, Pretty Little Liars, Original Sin, Yellow Jackets, and Cabinet of Curiosities. Not a whole lot on TV. Chucky, I need to get into. So maybe Chucky will make it next year.
I can. Yeah. I go, look, I can watch one movie in 100 minutes, or that's like 2 episodes of a show. Like, oh God.
Funnily enough, I just tapped out on American Horror Story. I know NYC came out. It's just not good. So sorry, American Horror Story folk.
It's like I gave you 12 years of my life, but now it's over.
Festival movies, shout outs, Nate. I just had a couple. Project Wolf Hunting was incredible. Yep. Very much on the line of the sadness. And A Wounded Fawn, which is now I think on Shudder.
It's out. It is now out. Yeah.
It's now
you could put that on your list. If you
I wanted to. It was one of those ones I really wanted to put on my top 10 list, but go check out A Wounded Fawn. I really enjoyed it.
That's the art one that you like the best.
That is the art one I like the best. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Any others that you want to shout out that aren't out yet?
Whenever or if ever Waysera comes out.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Huesera, Waysera. That's incredible. And then another Hispanic movie, Satanic Hispanics.
Oh yes.
With one of the greatest songs of all time, I'm Gonna Kill You, in a movie I've ever seen. It was awesome. When this movie comes out, it will probably be on my top 10 list whenever that happens. Hopefully this year, because it was real good, and I loved it. And it was real good.
Yeah,
good, hilarious in parts. Good music. Great, a diverse but thematically consistent array of stories in the anthology, right? So the wrapper around all the stories and the stories themselves were different enough where you're getting a lot of different types of stories, right? Mm-hmm. The one with Jonah Hill is a lot different than the one with the native Aztec people. Whenever you get the chance to watch this film, it's awesome. So whenever that comes out, it's gonna be incredible. But yeah, keep on the lookout for that one, because Waysera and Satanic Hispanics was just awesome, and I hope people be able to see them soon. Haven't seen anything about either yet getting like a wider release. I hope it's shortly, because just awesome. Ugh, can't wait to see those again.
Nate, do you have any, as we wrap up this episode and this year, any memorable moments from this year? Favorite episodes, least favorite?
Gretel and Hansel,
least favorite.
One.
Least favorite.
Gretel and Hansel is the number one. I don't know if it's my number one, but that was good. Doing the Suddenly in the Dark episode by myself, where I'm just by myself, just watching this like erotic movie about a killer doll with an embodied shaman mom's soul in a doll, and then like this other like young hot girl comes in. Just a real weird one to talk about by yourself, bitch. But
yeah,
it was a pretty surprisingly good movie. Somehow, I don't know. The Googling paid off on that one. I didn't know what to expect. And it was awesome. Prey, again, just out of nowhere. I've shown Prey to like a bunch of people already, so that's good. doing Just Before Dawn, and then I went to Silver Falls Park, where Just for Dawn had been filmed. Was awesome. And then the theme months. I mean, Guillermo del Toro, Summer Stab, 2022, and the Doll of Fame. The
Doll of Fame was a highlight.
It's just the absolute most ridiculous thing that we've ever done, but it was so good. Oh man, there's just more dolls than you think. I mean, we could do more. We didn't even touch The Boy. We didn't touch. I mean, there's more Puppet Masters, I guess.
Oh, there's plenty of Puppet Masters.
And there's more dolls that we could hit on, but Dead Silence, Dolls, Suddenly in the Dark, and Puppet Master 3, I mean, was a nice like opening cross section of creepy dollness. But I mean, I would rather not do any Annabelles if we could help it, but we got some on the back burner. If people want to request that, would not be against it.
Well, let us know. Leave those reviews. We'll get those in Doll of Fame for you for sure.
And Becky, I don't know. We both just like Becky. I don't know what happened there.
Oh yeah, that's Becky. Yeah, look, sometimes y'all send us movies and they're actually pretty good, so we appreciate that.
Yeah, you're so surprised.
We're as shocked as you are.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Suddenly in the Dark for me that was like this year's Hausu.
Yeah.
It was like that. I don't know. Like something just clicked like instantly watching it. And it was good. We could always do a Chucky movie too. We didn't even do a Chucky movie for Doll of Fame. I mean, that's an easy.
That was an easy one. I know. We didn't do it for the inaugural Doll of Fame, but it might have to happen for Doll of Fame too. I mean, there has to be a new Doll of Fame every year, right?
Yeah.
You gotta have new inductees. So.
I don't know if there's that many. There's a lot. I don't know if there's that many I want to watch.
Oh, well, no, no one wants to watch any of them, Nate, but that's not the question I asked you.
Yeah.
All right, well, look, let's turn the clock forward a little bit. Nate, what are you most looking forward to for next year?
Mithrigan's coming out in a few weeks.
Why is that the one you're most looking forward to?
I just know it's going to be bad, and I
don't think it's going to be good, bad, Nate. I think it's just going to be bad.
I don't care. I'm just so in.
Whatever Mithrigan's working with, you're buying.
Yeah, I'm in. There is. And Mitch, I'm going to steal your thunder. And the day after Valentine's Day, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is coming.
I refuse to acknowledge that is a real thing that is happening.
It's happening. It's real and it's spectacular. So get on board.
I don't know. That's another one too that I feel like everyone is going to have way too high of expectations for. We'll see. We could be wrong. It could be incredible. More opportunity for it to be bad than good, I would say.
You got M. Night Shyamalan coming. Mm-hmm. Knock at the Cabin.
I'm interested in this one.
Yeah. M. Night Shyamalan. It could be good. There is a movie, Mitch. So I went kind of some of the deep cuts here. There's a movie coming out in October right before Halloween called Elevator Game. I think you know about this, where you do something in an elevator and it conjures spirits. It's like a thing.
Oh, where you press the floors in a certain pattern.
Yeah, it's the new Candyman or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or what was the one with the lady? Bloody Mary or whatever. There you go.
Bloody Mary, yeah.
It's the new that, and I know you'd be interested. That's coming out. You gotta wait till October for that one, unfortunately. And there's a movie called
Was it 4262851 or something like that? It's just
8675309. Pretty close.
No, that's the number for Jenny. Go ahead.
Wait, her name's not Jenny, the ghost?
No. Maybe.
So Winnie the Pooh comes out in February. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. But there's also like basically a week after that, there's a movie called Cocaine Bear.
Yes.
That's a horror movie. It's a horror movie about a bear who gets cocaine and kills people, slightly based on a true story, Mitch, that I read about in the Washington Post for some reason. So yeah, there's 2 murder bears coming out in February. Are you interested in either?
Probably more Cocaine Bear than Winnie the Pooh, if I'm being honest.
Oh, interesting. Okay. We got Nun 2, Back in the Habit, coming out in September. Another Insidious, and another Saw. So the Wanaverse continues unabated in the back half of the year. You got an Evil Dead Rise movie coming out in April. You got Scream 6 coming out in March. Pretty quick turnaround. It's like barely a year. That's old school. Just cranking them out. 2 movies about Dracula. One on the perspective of the people on the Demeter, the ship that
Interested in that one.
Over on. And Renfield with Nicholas Hoult from The Menu and Nicolas Cage, the Knicks.
Also interested in that one for obvious reasons.
So you got that. Evil Dead Rise, I'm hoping, is that movie that has a lot of people in a really tight area because it's like in a high rise. It's basically, what's the Cronenberg movie? Rabid. It's basically Rabid.
I will tell you, I'm least excited about The Exorcist.
That's your
David Gordon Green
October movie.
Gordon Green decided why stop at only fucking up one franchise? Let me butcher another one. When they
go to confront whoever's being possessed, right? In this movie, which I think it's not a remake, it's like a sequel, right?
I have no idea.
Am I remembering that correctly?
I have no idea.
But I'm pretty sure instead of just sending like 2, like one old and one young priest, they send a bunch of priests, and the priests, as they're walking toward the house where they know the possessed person is, they're chanting, "Pazuzu dies tonight. Pazuzu dies tonight." That's what I'm really hoping for happens with this movie.
That was a very long lead up for that. I don't know if it was worth.
If that happened, if there's any chanting, if there's any extended chanting in this movie by more than 3 people, you have permission to walk out of the theater on that one. Just scarred from Halloween Kills.
Yeah. Well, I won't be in that theater to begin with. So
okay, there you go. What about Saw 10?
Christ, I don't know.
There's 10 Saws.
I'm more, as we're saying these, I'm now worried that we're about to fall off a horror cliff from all the good we had to this. There is something called Infinity Pool. I'm interested in.
Yeah, that one looks great. That's David. That's Brandon Cronenberg.
Yeah, Mia Goth, Skarsgård.
Yep, in on that one. I'm already in on that one. Nate, and Maxine, hopefully, is 2020.
Yes. Nate, it's been a solid year. I'm looking forward to another horror-filled year co-hosting with you. We'll have some new surprises, new theme months. But until then, where can folks find us?
Wait, hold on. Did we just do Doll of Fame to start the year because the Mithrigan's there?
Oh my God, yes.
Oh my God. Did I just walk into this? Yeah, Mithrigan kicks off Doll of Fame too. That's so stupid. God damn it. Why did I say that? Yeah, you want to do My Girl?
Sure.
Do you have the My Girl drop per chance?
I do what? God, I got the thing more. I forgot about My Girl. Yeah. I do not have the drop. So
okay, but we'll put it in post.
Here, I'll just do it for you. Can't read without his glasses.
Somebody forgot his glasses.
That's more fun. That's more fun than the drop anyway.
That's somehow much worse. My Girl Award. There's no particular order on this one. There weren't as many kids killed this year, so get on it. People who make movies. The Innocents didn't make my list. It could have, but The Innocents is about kids who have psychic powers and what that does. Sounds Yellow Jacket-y if it's Lord of the Flies-y esque from what you described. There's a playground psychic battle that happens that involves a little kid dying pretty dramatically that you should check out. So that's one of them. Number 2.
Right in time for the holiday season.
I wrote down Black Phone, the whole movie, ? The whole
Fair.
movie's about this guy just kills kids. He puts them through a series of rituals in which he gets them to do certain things so that he feels justified in killing them after he kidnaps them. And all these kids are dead, and it's pretty obvious that they all got murdered by this dude, and other ghosts are saying, hey, you have to ghost fight. We're your ghost trainers, and we're going to teach you with our ghost skills how to fight. It's just all the dead kids, the movie. So there's that. Nope. You mentioned the scene about people being digested. A lot of kids in that crowd. There's some kids wearing alien masks hilariously from earlier in the movie. Those kids got eaten and became a blood shower, a blood scattered shower. And I'm sure some of them were screaming. I think we mostly heard the adults because they have bigger lungs. Resurrection in my top 10. There is a monologue in that movie that I mentioned, talking about a baby being eaten by its own father, and then the father saying that the baby is still alive inside him and it's calling out for her. So that's part of it. And the last one, Mitch. Yeah, go watch Resurrection. You're welcome. And The Northman. All these people are beastly. They're all taking drugs. Alexander Skarsgård is catching spears and throwing them back at people in this raid. And you're like, this is a badass, cool scene. And then they round up everybody, including a million kids, and put them in a building and light it on fire. And you hear all the kids. And you hear kids' vocals, Mitch.
Oh,
They recorded separate kids' vocals. You hear them in it. And then they all die. And that's what a Viking raid is like. So, talking about My Girl awards
oh my.
for 2022. I'm sure there were more. I'm sure The Sadness had a kid kill in there. I just could not remember it.
I actually
someone
don't
who-
think they did. Thank God.
There's a dude, an evil dude in the movie who attempts to do some sexual activities with a female, also infected person who doesn't have an eye anymore, and it's just a socket. So, killing kids is really low on the list there.
Yeah.
When you're working with that. So, yeah. Wow, really ended on a high note, Mitch.
Oh my.
Goodbye to 2022, Jesus.
On that note, Nate, where can they find us?
God. We're taking a couple break. We're taking a couple weeks, 2-week break here. Just what I just talked about the last 2 minutes. But if you want to find us after that, you can find us at TX Podmaster on Twitter. We're not journalists, so we're not our accounts haven't been banned. So at TX Podmaster on Twitter, Texas Podcast Massacre everywhere else. Give us 5-star review in your podcast platform of choice, or look, just fess up to being the person who was on my most disappointing episode list, along with Halloween Ends and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Joyride, and you get a chance to pick a better movie. So Texas Podcast Massacre at gmail.com. Do those things, or call our number, which I said earlier, but 346-246-3143. Tell us about your favorite movies of 2022. Any movies we missed. Request movies. The Gretel and Hansel person still has an open invitation from you, Mitch, right? Because are you fighting? Are you gonna meet up somewhere? Is the challenge still on?
No, we're burying
Okay,
Gretel and Hansel in the
2023
time capsule 2022.
Okay, it's just gone. Okay, all right. Well, find the most Gretel and Hansel-esque movie you possibly have seen and request that for 2023. But yeah, you can do that any of those ways I just mentioned. I guess we're doing dolls coming up early in the year, so get excited for that. And thanks for listening to us. It's been an interesting year. I moved across the country. Mitch is having the dream warriors of kids. there's been a lot going on. So thanks for listening. And 2023, I mean, we got Mithrigan kicking off the year, so it can't be a bad year at that point. But yeah, thanks for listening, and yeah, we'll do some cool stuff in the new year.
From all of us here at Texas Podcast Massacre, thank you so much for tuning in. And just keep telling yourself, it's only a movie. Good night.